So we got some brand new video here. I want to share this with you. We talked about that Russian column of tanks moving to the northeastern edge of Kyiv. Well, this is the Ukrainian army that has captured some of these tanks. Now, they're reporting they took out the convoy. Maybe that's the case. Maybe they came close to taking it out, but nonetheless, they have been successful to some measure in the daylight. And the reason we know this, Dana, cross-roll the video from the aerial that we shared last hour. This is the Russian column moving through the open road during what seems to be daylight hours, perhaps dawn hours. And this is just an absolute mistake if you're running a military invasion anywhere in the world.
Wait, you said that, so Brovary, Ukraine, you say that's just northeast of Kyiv?
Brovary is a small little town on the eastern edge of the capital city, 16 miles from the city center.
And the Ukrainians
So we had some, remember yesterday we had the video of the tanks rolling down that country road?
Yes.
That was a single lane road that went by house after house after house. This is a two-lane highway in both directions. You're a sitting duck when you find yourself in a circumstance like this. And it makes you wonder about the convoy on the other side of town, right? The 40-mile-long convoy. We've been given 10 different reasons, Dana, as to why that still exists. Well, what's the truth? Frankly, we don't know. But we were told just yesterday that perhaps it's the Russian Air Force that's giving the 40-mile convoy its cover. Well, maybe, if you're going to buy that argument, you could also buy the argument that perhaps the Ukrainians are lying in wait. And if they make a move on that convoy toward the city, they may get blown out, just like we watched this convoy earlier.
Really interesting. So this video just in of the Ukrainian army taking over some of these Russian tanks from that column and the convoy. So we'll stay on top of it. We'll see what else that they can find.
All right, Karl Rove joins us now. Karl, you're watching this from Austin. You have a thought on this right now as to what we're seeing unfold before us?
Well, we have been told by U.S. military experts and British military experts that they are confounded by the poor execution of the Russians, that they're violating fundamental rules of attack, doing things in daylight that shouldn't be done in daylight, operating in formations that make them extremely vulnerable. Isolated units detached from others that allow them to be cut off and assaulted successfully by the Ukrainians. So it looks to me like whoever was in charge of that tank platoon didn't have good tactical practice.
I think the other thing it shows is that the Ukrainian air assault is still well intact. Based on what we saw from that. There were some questions about that, but I think that answers that. Dana.
Well, Karl, here at home, of course, we've been seeing the surge in gas prices, a record today. A record hit at $4.31. It was $2.81 a gallon a year ago, and this number looks like it's going to continue to go up. What do you think the White House's position here, basically saying these are Putin's price hikes and not doing anything, at least so far, to ramp up domestic oil production, just blaming the industry for phony numbers?
Yeah, look, this is sort of weird to me because, look, here's the deal. The inflation rate is 7.9% year over year. That's through the end of February. It's 8.4% in the last 3 months, December, January, and February. The vast bulk of the increases in energy prices have come before Ukraine happened. Now, will the fact that the Russian oil reserves, I mean, we import 3.7% of our average daily use comes from Russian oil. So if we're no longer going to import that, will that have an effect on price? Yes. But the vast bulk of these price increases in gasoline are coming from the same place that the vast increases in other prices for groceries, prices for homes, and that is that the United States government in between the middle of 2020 and the middle of 2021 was in essence borrowing money from the future and spending so much money that it was equal to the entire gross domestic product. Normally, the federal government spends money that's equal to about 20% of GDP, but they spent so much money in that 12-month, 13-month period that it was larger than the U.S. economy. And what does that mean? That means that we increased demand, we had too much money chasing too few goods, and that's the classic definition of inflation. So will there be an inflationary impact of Putin? Yes, but it's in the future. In the past are the policies of big spending, some of it probably justified for COVID, but nonetheless having a huge impact on our economy, and not a good one. because what it caused is people's wages to rise slower than the costs that they had to put out for at the grocery store and at the gas pump.
Carl, we know what this administration's intent is. I mean, they are hooked on climate change. John Kerry made this clear. He's talking about climate refugees now in the middle of this war. Watch here. We'll make sense of it.
We're already seeing climate refugees around the world. If you think migration has been a problem in Europe from the Syrian war, or even from what we see now, where do you see 100 million people for whom the entire food production capacity has collapsed?
I just react to that and just keep in mind, on day one, it was Keystone, it was Paris, it was no drilling in Alaska, all of that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, where is Mr. Kerry's decency? People are dying in Ukraine, and he's dismissing it, saying, if you think that's bad, wait until it gets worse later because of climate. How dismissive and dishonorable and disrespectful that is. But you're right. Let's step back for a minute. Let's assume that the president, the other day, Jen Psaki said, well, the Keystone XL pipeline is not about gasoline prices. It's about a pipeline. It has nothing to do with price. If you build a pipeline, you no longer need to put that oil product, the petroleum products, on a train, or worse yet, as in the case of a lot of the areas served by Keystone XL, on a truck. So a pipeline is a far more energy efficient and environmentally sensitive way to transport oil. If we were building more pipelines, we'd be able to capture more natural gas rather than flare it. We'd be able to send petroleum products to refineries with less environmental costs, lower carbon emissions, and so forth. So this idea that if you improve oil and gas drilling, we do it better than anybody in the world from an environmental perspective. If you build pipelines, all of these things will help us reduce our dependency on foreign sources of oil. We had to take that oil from Russia and ship it all the way across the ocean on a freighter that is burning oil. What about putting oil from Canada in a pipeline and sending it to our refineries on the Gulf Coast, in which case greenhouse gas emissions drop dramatically because of transportation? And look, let's be even more broad. We're the only industrialized country in the world that is reducing the absolute level of greenhouse gas emissions virtually every year over year. China is not even obligated to start doing that until 2030. And why is it that India and China and all these other major emitters are not being asked to do what America is doing, which is leading the world in reducing greenhouse gas emissions while still growing our economy?
Imagine this. Imagine gas prices $5 a gallon for 6 months. See what effect that might have on policy. Carl, good to see you today.
Great to see you, Carl. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, more than 2 million people